Welcome to Beefy Boys Breakdown. We're going to be recapping UFC Denver, headlined by Namajunas and Cortez. It is episode 175 of the pod.
Let's
And man,
go.
I gotta say, like, my expectations for this main event were kind of low. Like, Tracy Cortez, kind of a decision market, not kind of, a
Is a
1,000%
full,
decision.
yeah, literally has
Yes.
not given you anything but decisions in the UFC in her fight career. So not even
And then
merchant. That's all she does.
Rose, like, every once in a while, she'll give you a stinker, you know? So
Head case of a fighter. Like you can't contend. You can't count on her to be going out to get a finish. Like Matty Betts, for instance, going to call him out because I always do because he's the coldest gambler alive. The 1 week we cashed nothing, he won money. Every week that we hit a bet, he doesn't cash. It's crazy how cold this guy is. Point being, he bet on Rose by TKO. That was his and his underdog of the year was Blackshear. He bet
yeah, and, like,
$10,000 on him.
I saw a lot of people liking Blackshear. We talked about it on our betting episode. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't see it. Like, we went,
for people
we
at
zigged
home,
while everyone else zagged.
For people at home, our picks, and not only picks, but like methods of victory were hot last night. I mean, we were cooking last night, minus the co-main event, which we're definitely going to get to with some steam, but I do want to keep it here on this main event before we get it rolling.
If I had more time, I literally would have stopped by the hardware store on the way home from work and grabbed a ski mask to wear on the pod. Like, straight up, bro. Fucking robbery season in full effect, bro. Robbery like a fucking vehicle on a San Francisco street with a laptop in the front seat, bro. Just fucking just out here stealing. But
no punishment
we'll
either. No punishment. This is fully San Francisco.
Just like San Francisco, bro. Yeah, it was under $900 on the robbery, so nothing happens. But yeah, man. We'll get to it because that's the co-main, so we won't have to beat around the bush too long. But what I was saying is, had relatively low expectations as far as like entertainment value on this main event, and I'll say for my low standards, it exceeded them. Like, I thought they got after it. Like for a women's 5-round main event, for a decision merchant and a fighter that occasionally gives us stinkers, like, they got after it. Like, it was an entertaining fight. Like, I wasn't bored. I wasn't like, everybody kept saying like piss break main event. That was like the hot take all week on X, and I thought they got after it. I was entertained.
You know what was, and this might be a hot take, I thought the fight got closer as it went on. I thought Rose was dominant at the start, and Cortez battled her ass back into the fight by rounds 4 and 5. Now, granted, that's not enough unless you get a finish, because I did score 1 through 3 to Rose, and I don't think is that even controversial to say?
Well, so I have a scorecard that really nobody on planet Earth has. I can't wait to get to it, but it favors both girls. So it wasn't even like a biased thing, because like in round 1, I gave Rose a 10-8. I can't believe more people did it.
I had it in my notes question mark exclamation point, like 10-8 maybe, and then I went 10-9, but I don't know why I did, honestly. It's one of those where maybe I was giving respect to Cortez's recovery, but
like, bro, you take away the knockdown, 10-9. So it's like knockdown, like and like in round 1. Like, I thought Rose won like all 5 minutes of that round. Like so it was like literally the criteria: damage, dominance, duration. Like, I'll be real. I was really surprised when I looked on Verdict. Nobody gave it 10-8. I looked on X. Nobody gave it 10-8. I'm on third base holding catchers here, but I'll stand on my logic. Like I said, take away the knockdown. It's still a clear 10-9. Rose won all 5 minutes of the round. And she knocked the bitch's eyelash across the octagon.
That was fire. That was fire.
Now, style points.
And the one that knocked her eyelash off wasn't even the shot that rocked her. Like, it was the right hand that followed that just grazed the eyelash perfectly. Which, by the way, I want to make a point. I'm glad you brought it up. From this point forward on this podcast, if there's a female fighter, or a male fighter for that matter, any fighter that wears fake eyelashes, I will not bet on them any sort of way. I'll bet against them every time. If you're more worried about your appearance in an octagon where you're getting hit in your face than your opponent,
I remember way back in the early days of the pod, back when old Heavy's
Rachel
Ostovich,
yeah,
one of our first clips that gained some traction. We went on this whole, we had like kind of a thirst trap clickbaity thumbnail, and we kind of went in on this subject, and it actually was one of our first videos that gained any traction on YouTube. So I think most fight fans, even like Nina got home she was watching this main event with me, and she was just like, "What the fuck? Why is that a thing?" And like,
Yeah, like why would you wear eyelashes when you're getting punched in your face? It doesn't make any sense.
it doesn't make any sense. And I even saw some girls that were like, even like, all right, like apparently there's different kinds. Like there's like the glue-on kind that like she was wearing that you buy at fucking Target. Like apparently, like if you are gonna do it, they actually do like the high end ones are like extensions that are actually like attached. Like that's how you would
like
do it if
woven
you were
onto your eyelash.
if you were like dead set on doing it. Like you wouldn't buy the fucking Costco glue-on ones that you wear to the fucking club. But you know that's our eyelash breakdown of the day. But
that point though, I think does harken back to a point that we made in the fight breakdown, which is that the one thing I was suspect on in Cortez was her activity. She fights once every year, and it's only that for 5 years now, once a year. Her dedication to this sport, I really question it. I really do. Now, that's not to say that she's not a great fighter, but I think that if she was more active, I think that if she wasn't caring about her appearance in the octagon, I think she could be a top-level fighter. But as far as her being number 11, it's probably where she stays, in all honesty.
I struggle to move her up. That's what
I mean. Rough takeaways for Cortez from this fight, other than it's good cardio for a 25-minute fight on shorter notice than normal. I'll give her that. 100%.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then also, just on a betting note, we had this on a 2-leg over-under parlay that ended up cashing, what ends up getting me in the green. So,
Shout out to us, our first over-under parlay of the year.
Yeah, we had the over 4.5 rounds, which it was minus 275. Everybody knew it was going to happen. That's why we threw it on a parlay. We weren't going to eat that minus 275. We ended up parlaying it with the Dober Silva over 1.5 and got plus 150. A shout out to me for putting 2 units on that because elsewise I would have had a bad day.
I should have put 2.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I said, I'm the only guy on planet Earth that gave round 1 a 10-8. I think rounds 2 and 3 are clearly 10-9 Rose, like not really up for debate, right? I mean, she was keeping it on the feet. When round 3, she got 2 takedowns of her own in 3 minutes of control, so she out-grappled the grappler. She was out-striking her on the feet. I was impressed by that. Yeah.
Now, I will say...
in round 2, she got up whenever Cortez did get the takedown. Everybody thought that if Cortez could get the takedown, she could stay on top and have some success. Rose got up fairly easily.
Easily. Like honestly, pretty easily. And then I thought as well, and I mean, in 4, when Cortez started to battle back, I still scored that round for Rose, even though acknowledging that might have been Cortez's best round of the fight to that point.
See, and this is where I get a scorecard that nobody on planet Earth has. I go round 1, 10-8 Rose, and I give Cortez 4. So like, I know the internet's going to hate my scorecard, but I mean, I'll defend it. In round 4.
We're getting that 48-46 out of DMAC. I see where we're going. Because I thought 5 was clearly Cortez. I didn't think that was too arguable. I thought Rose was coasting. She understood the just don't get finished and you win this fight.
One judge gave Cortez 4, I believe, and I saw people on X bitching about it.
I thought it was a close round.
On business. Well, check it out. Even the metrics, like I think it was 15 significant strikes for Cortez, only 10 for Rose. Coast mode was already engaged, and Cortez got a takedown. So it's like, you win the significant strike numbers, you get a takedown. Like, why is it controversial to give you that round? Rose didn't land anything like violent. It's not like Rose got a cut or a knockdown Rose got her own takedown. That's when Cortez got up from that one pretty quickly, though. Like, I thought Cortez won the round. I mean, she didn't win it by a landslide. It wasn't a dominant round, but I don't think it's like controversial to give her the round. That Twitter was tripping.
I have it as a very close round that I lean to Rose in. Just, I thought that she led the dance more so as well. I thought strikes were close. I didn't know the numbers. But from just my eyes, thought it was close. Thought Rose was pushing the action. Takedowns 1-1. I don't know.
Close round. I have close in my notes. People were acting like it was blasphemous to give Cortez that round.
Well, and then it's like 5. Like that's Cortez's round for sure. But that was like full coast mode from Rose.
Full coast mode for sure. Which is why Rose is kind of snoozy and why we took the over 4.5. The over we cashed the over 4.5, which cashes our parlay and gets us both in the green.
Man, me barely. I got in the green
by the skin of your teeth.
I got in the green by 2/5 of a unit.
Yeah, better than a poke in the eye, as they say.
Money's money.
You had it 49-46, or you
Yeah.
had it 49-46. Yeah, and I had it 48-46 with the 10-8 and the other round. But and then one judge goes 48-47. But it's just hard to give Cortez credit because I thought even round 4, I thought Rose had already started coasting.
Right. Yeah, I think the takeaways from this fight are much worse for Cortez. For Rose as well, I don't think it's necessarily like, I'm not saying she needs a title shot. I'm not saying anything like that. And she didn't call for that. I thought her post-fight speech was...
Well, she kind of did. She said she wanted Fioro in Lithuania, which that would be for a title, right? I mean, or no, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
It would be a rematch. Yeah. I mean, and she's assuming maybe Fioro is going to win the title. I don't know, but I thought that it was a good call out from Rose's standpoint. She asked for maybe a women's BMF belt. I don't know about that, but she's been a champion before. I think she's already a big sell. I kind of like her just putting her name in the octagon or in the ring of keep me active against a big name. I kind of like that sell for her.
Yeah, well, and like my main takeaway is I strongly believe she is the 4th best women's flyweight on earth. And like you can say that's a backhanded compliment, but like she's not better than Fioro, Shevchenko, or Grasso. Like she just ain't. I don't think she beats any of those girls if she gets those fights. So I don't know. Maybe you rebook the Barber fight. Maybe you give her a Blanchfield. My personal, and I think Dean Thomas called for this as well. Karine Silva.
Yeah, I love it. Trust me, I love it. But as
I don't think
6,
UFC brass would love it. No,
right. And as if I'm number 6, you make me fight number 11, but you give it to me at home. But I dominate her in a decision. Give me 5. Give me 7. Give me 3. Give me something.
Who are the official rankings? Because I have my power rankings up, but I don't know. The UFC rankings sometimes in the women's are so off.
Assuming they give Rose a fight forward now, since she fought backwards 5. I mean, that's a pretty big jump. So in order: Andrade, Barber, Blanchfield, Fioro, Shevchenko, and then of course champions Grasso. Obviously, Shevchenko, Grasso out of the equation. Fioro probably too soon for that rematch, so I would consider her to be out of that. The Barber rebooking would make sense.
That's probably what they're just going to do, right? I mean, because they've already promoted it a little bit. But if they wanted to go Andrade or Blanchfield, I'm here for either of those. I think Andrade is a way more fun fight because Jessica Andrade is way more like, We'll press. Yeah, Rose cannot coast.
Right,
Rose cannot coast at all.
Right. Whereas Blanchfield, she can probably kind of dance around and out technique her. Whereas Andrade is going to try to out savage her.
Blanchfield can take her down and control it.
Nope, not after seeing Tracy Cortez struggle as much as she did.
Yeah,
I think she can take her down. I don't know if she can control her. To your point.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's the real crux of it all. But I mean, honestly, we can keep it pushing because this is one where I went to readjust my rankings, and I literally didn't move because I didn't want to jump Tracy Cortez in my power rankings. I didn't want to jump her over Natalia Silva because Natalia Silva be getting finishes, boy.
I don't hate it, man. And when you asked me about, did you say Karine Silva or Natalia Silva?
Yeah. I said Karine earlier, but I have them both over Tracy. Okay. I have Karine over her as well.
Hear me out. The Natalia Silva Rose matchup, I actually could see them doing 8 versus 6. That's close enough where it's not necessarily a punishment to 6.
I mean that'd be a really. I think that'd be a fun fight. That's another one where Rose can't coast. You got to give Rose opponents that she can't coast.
Yeah, but also she was saying that she wants a bigger name. Andrade is the move here. If she wants a name, we as the fans want to see her fight someone that won't let her coast. I mean, she has plenty of ways to beat Andrade, but Andrade won't let her coast.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I mean, I guess I'm cool with it. I'm as cool with that as anything. Because the thing is, if they don't give Andrade that fight, they're going to give her some other fight on a main card or a main event that we don't really want to see. So it's like, we might as well do Rose. At least it's 2 names we respect. We know. Fuck it.
I think
I'm down to keep it pushing to crying our beer over this Ponzinibbio decision. Honestly,
Yeah, no, absolutely. If you want to tell the people at home the bets we had on this fight, I am going to go grab a drink. I forgot to get a water, and my mouth is dry. I'll be right back. You go ahead and talk about it, though.
Yeah, yeah. In the co-main event, we had Santiago Ponzinibbio finished at minus 180. We had him at minus 190. Harrison had Ponzi on a 4-leg parlay. I had a 2-unit 3-leg parlay and a 1-unit 4-leg parlay that had all hit up to this point. Just needed Santiago Ponzinibbio to win, and I win an additional 16 units, I believe. Also, I had a Ponzinibbio by KO prop that wasn't going to hit, but whatever. I wasn't mad at the sprinkle. Yeah, taking on 40-year-old Muslim Salikhov, finished at plus 150. The Ponzinibbio by KO prop was plus 160 odds, so I said, well, not mad at the little 1-unit sprinkle. Oh, the cranberry long drink.
Yeah,
Nicely done. Nicely
that.
done, my
Thought
friend.
you might love that.
But I'm just saying, yeah, I think I would have won 16 units if Ponzinibbio wins
Wins by KO.
No. If he wins the decision, I win 16. If he wins by KO,
well, we're going Sizzler.
20 units.
We're going Sizzler.
Yeah, we're going to Sizzler. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, robbery ski mask season. You heard us talk about it a little bit in the intro. I mean, let the cat out of the bag here. Salikhov clearly gets the decision. That's why we're crying in our beers. But, I mean, let's go round by round here because verdict backs me up. The global verdict scorecard is the same scorecard I got, and it sure as fuck ain't for Salikhov. So this ain't my light blue, my powder blue Argentine dagger colored glasses on. Verdict agreed with me here, so you can call me out for like better bias if you want. But Verdict Global Scorecard scored every round for Ponzinibbio.
And I'm gonna blow your mind with scorecards here. So check it out. I don't have a scorecard that any of the judges have, and neither do you. And that's important because we both have Ponzinibbio winning this fight. And there's a judge that has Ponzinibbio winning this fight, and I don't have his scorecard. Now, let's dive into
and verdict.
First
like I
round.
said, we got to keep bringing in verdict too, because it just takes the bias kind of question out of the equation.
Well, you and verdict have the same scorecard, so I'm saying these other scorecards, because 2 judges saw this fight the same way, which is odd because we're saying 2 out of 3, just what you would say, elite individuals scoring fights are scoring it this way, but all of the world that's watching, including you, is scoring it very differently. But you know what? In all honesty, strike numbers are close throughout the rounds in this fight. Now, you know what's not really close? Control time. Ponzinibbio definitely has more control time, definitely has more takedowns, just as an overall fight view here. But I also thought damage, like appearance of damage, I thought he clearly won that too.
Well, yeah. So let's go. We got to go round by round. Round 1, the strike numbers were very close. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but they were very close. But all right. Numbers are close. Ponzinibbio busted Salikhov's nose. Now, it was a cut. I don't think it was a broken nose, but
doesn't matter to me. Damage is damage. Yeah. I mean, that's more than. I mean, it is visual damage, but I mean, it's physical damage too. It's a literal cut on his skin from the damage of the impact. Like, I like that strike enough because I thought numbers were close enough in strikes. I like that strike to win the round. In all honesty, that's how my notes read: is that Ponzinibbio takes the round with the damage on Salikhov's face.
And so once again, that's not some like biased, subjective, like, oh, I just kind of eye test. Like, no, like based off the one guy's bleeding and one guy's not, and everything else in the round was pretty goddamn even.
So check this out. Dean Abeta, who I'll get to him much later in the card as well, he scores this round to Salikhov. Okay, so does Chris Lee, normal Vegas judge, and then Eric Colon, once again normal Vegas judge, scores it for Ponzinibbio. So right now, it's already a close round in the judges' scorecards. I didn't think it was that close.
I thought it was close. Like, so what? Salikhov had some body kicks.
See,
I think he even had a head kick that was like partially blocked. Like, he had some success. He landed in some exchanges. Like, he had some success, but like he didn't win the round. Like, I don't think it was a bad round from Salikhov. I just don't think he won the round.
I fully agree. Now, pushing it to round 2, what I'm going to say is that if we're going to call a round close, the closest round is round 2. I thought round 2 was a legitimate coin flip. I did score it to Salikhov. But I do have in my notes that I can see the case for Ponzinibbio depending on what you're liking in the fight.
Yeah. I thought the late takedown went a lot for my scorecard on giving it to Ponzi. I think he was like winning the boxing. Now, Salikhov had a few decent counters. He had that one step in elbow that was pretty nice, and he did nothing with his takedown at all. I mean, it was, like you said, basically a coin flip round. But Ponzinibbio did win the strike numbers, and I thought won most of the boxing exchanges. Like I said, Salikhov had a few kicks and that one really nice elbow. Like I said, if you gave Salikhov the round based off that elbow, I don't hate it.
I probably
each have
almost
one takedown,
did.
kind of a wash.
I probably almost did in hindsight because I was measuring, like, once again, I felt like strike numbers, like, pretty much a wash. So then I went to, like, most impactful strike, and it was that elbow, in fact. So, yeah, to your point, I probably did win him the round from my mental perspective of the.
It was nice. It was a nice elbow. But to make, man, just frustrating, kind of like if I was a Salikhov better or if I was in Salikhov's corner, like, why the fuck did you only do that one time the whole fight? Like, it was his best moment of the fight. He just, like, completely abandoned it. I hate when fighters do that.
And we saw John Silva spam elbows and much to his, like, benefit, which we'll get to here shortly. But to keep it pushing before we get to round 3, so Dean Abeta and Chris Lee once again score the rounds to Salikhov. So they have a 2018 Salikhov going into 3. This is, like, where it's crazy.
Giving both to Salikhov, giving 1 and 2 to Salikhov is just such a ball wash. Like,
no, but check it out. The other judge gives 1 and 2 to Ponzinibbio.
Yeah, that's my. I mean, as did I. So
here's where it's going to get wild. That judge that gives both those first 2 to Ponzinibbio doesn't give him 3.
Which 3's his best round.
3's his best round, exactly. I gave him 1 and 3. I didn't think that was really too much of a question. I didn't think that was going to be egregious. I thought that was going to be this judge's scorecard that gave him. How do you give him 2 but you don't give him 3? That doesn't make any sense. If you're giving him 2, you're giving him 3. And 3 gets the late takedown.
Takedown with actual control, like what, like 2 minutes of control,
right?
Like, and then I do have in my notes it was pretty even on the feet.
But, like, I mean, who controlled the round? Who forced the position? That was all Ponzinibbio.
It's not like it wasn't like Salikhov was pushing the face or pushing the pace or getting shots off.
But here's where it gets wild. The 2 judges that scored the first 2 rounds to Salikhov both scored that round to Ponzinibbio.
That makes even kind of more sense than the other guy.
That's my point, though, is that, like, all of it's crazy, but the judge that actually scores the same score as me has the most egregious way of getting there.
Yeah, agreed, brother. Number one bullshit. Like I said, lost me.
This fight was
16
a robbery.
units. 16 units. Like this. Like I'll be real. I was putting the cart before the horse. I was like, this is the best gambling night in the history of the podcast.
Me too, brother. I mean, as fights were happening, and we're checking off methods of victory. I'm like, oh, we're rolling in dough tonight, baby. We're hot tonight. And then, I get home and I'm sitting on my couch watching this. They read the decision and I'm just like,
no, I was telling you this in the group text when I bring it to the show. Like, my wife was out with some friends and she got home like right after the co-main ended, and she like thought she was like, what's wrong? Like she was like my energy was just like, yeah. She's like, are you mad that I went out with my friends?
Absolutely not. I'm glad you had a good time, but this fucking fight, these judges.
I just got fucked. Yeah, man. I mean, horrible decision. And like I said, I mean, if there was all 3 judges would have given 1 and 2 to Salikhov and 3 to Ponzinibbio, it would have been easier to swallow. Still not really, but
yeah, not really in my opinion. I thought 1. Like, how the fuck did Salikhov win 1 with his nose getting split open? You know what? It's fine.
It's bullshit.
It's number 1 bullshit. For real, though. We can keep it pushing. I can't believe the 1 split decision goes so heavily against us on the last leg.
These guys really matter moving forward, right? Like, I think Salikhov's like a koozie. Ponzinibbio, I think, is just like above koozie.
Just above koozie.
And like...
Which is exactly how we saw the fight. Like, we had it graded right. We had it broken down right.
I say you feed him to some young bucks. I say you give him a Danny Barlow, a fucking Billy Goff, like, man, Vaughn Elliott, like, these guys deserve to really fight up, in my opinion. But
yeah, it is time to start feeding the prospects. But let's keep pushing to a fight we
Yep,
do
yep.
cash on. We got Gian Silva, Lord Gian Silva, taking on minus 120, taking on Drew Dober plus 100. We like this fight to go over 1.5.
Minus 120 on that prop, which we parlayed with the over 4.5 on the main event. So
yes, sir.
that
Now,
cashed for me.
I was very high on Silva coming into this, mostly because of Kenny Florian. Shout out a few other guys I listened to break down this fight. I had listened to some handicappers pick Dober. You know what, though? In our text chain, I think the breakdown that I gave quickly was what showed itself in the fight. Dober's a little older. Gian Silva's way more technical on the inside when they wanted to have trades. Gian Silva was able to get out when he needed to and land heavy when he could. I thought he dominated this fight for the most part, man. I didn't score a round to Dober through the first two, and the damage was just stacking on Dober. Now, shout out to Dober for his heart and his chin, because the fight does get stopped, but...
Yeah, I thought round one was close. I still scored it to Silva, but Dober did have that moment where he wobbled Silva. He had Silva hurt.
Definitely
was
a very competitive round. I'm just saying, on my card, I didn't score one for Dober.
And to prove the consistency with my scoring, much like I gave round one to Ponzinibbio for busting Salikhov's nose, I gave round one to Silva because he cut Dober. That's when he first opened the cut.
And then he kept spamming the spinning elbow and kept ripping the cut open. I mean, it was almost his whole eyelid. Essentially,
so his whole eyebrow, like he didn't have an eyebrow.
It was like falling into his eyelid. Essentially,
his eyebrow was now like. I'm interested to see how that looks when it heals. Like he may not have an eyebrow on that side anymore. You know, like hair doesn't grow over like scar tissue.
You're right. Yeah, I'm very interested to see if he has like a half brow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just one of these. Like you just see the top of it.
Like because he literally is like whole eyebrow is a cut. But yeah, man, I mean, like I said, one busted the eye in round one. Round two was a fucking banger. And like Dober had that moment where he was kind of like spamming the clinch uppercuts, kind of hockey fighting him and had some success, kind of had him hurt a little bit. But
good work to the body on Silva. He was putting good work to the body on Silva with the knees, too.
And I thought like 4.5 minutes of that fight was kind of a coin flip, or not the fight, the round was kind of a coin flip. But you could argue that Drew Dober was saved by the bell in round two. Like
he was 100%. Very end of the round. 1,000% he was.
Sure, brother. And then round three, like I said, he spams one last spinning elbow right on that cut. Like you literally can't like any better. Like spinning elbow right to the cut, rips it open like another half inch, quarter inch, and then to the point where Silva
was pointing at it mid-fight and got like rocked by pointing at it, trying to talk to the ref in Dober's corner. He was doing some dumb shit. I do have that in my notes too. That like Silva, I need to see him pay a little more attention to the fight and less to the ref in the corners.
And Dober's a dog for that because he was in it. Dober's the anti-Cody Brundage. Like he never once.
Oh, we're gonna
for a way
to
out.
Pussy Boy Brundage.
But like. Dober's the antithesis of that. Like, he never once looked for a way out. He wasn't hemming and hawing.
Bro, it was crazy. Yeah, Herb Dean apologized to Dober after he stopped it because he was like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I know you're still there. I know you're still in it. I had to, though. Like, for your own good. And Dober was like, nah, it's cool. I get it.
Me and the homie Gaines, shout out Nick Gaines, but he was in, we were messaging on Instagram kind of during the fights. And he was telling me, like, he doesn't like the inconsistency of the stoppage. It's not like a particular stoppage. It's just like as a fan, like we don't really know like what is a stoppage and what isn't. It's so subjective. It's so random.
He's a good guy to speak to it though. Works in the medical field, so like he actually would have a good take on what should be or should not be.
Yeah, and like so, he was. But what I'm getting at is at least there's a little consistency because it was a very similar cut to Mayra Bueno Silva. So like if they're going to stop the Mayra Bueno Silva, yeah. Pretty comparable, I would say. Like, if you're going to stop the Mayra Bueno Silva fight, it makes sense to stop this fight. Like,
Yes, I agree, but I will say as well, like I had two separate people that texted me and said, "Holy shit, did you see that cut?" Because they know I watch all the fights, obviously. And so,
no,
like,
no, it
it
was
was
like straight
gnarly.
up like horror movie. It was gory. Like you could have used the word gory. Like it was gross. It was disgusting. Yeah, no, I feel it. Yeah, I was cool with the stoppage, especially because it hit over 1.5. and
Me too,
but
man.
yeah, I
Because there
mean,
were times where I wondered, like, these guys are throwing nuclear missiles at each other, piss missiles at each other. Is this gonna make it to the 7.5? Like, I was literally counting seconds, like counting 30-second increments.
no, for sure, bro. This is its fight of the night. Deservingly so. And Gene Silva, man, he's a guy, man. He's undefeated in the UFC, 3-0 in the UFC, has a win in two different weight classes.
Do you
I
worry about
inserted him
him?
into my.
Do you worry about him making weight at featherweight?
I mean, you'd be a fool not to, right?
I mean,
Like, I
yeah,
mean,
it's. I think it's.
but
Yeah,
to his credit, I don't know if he has to fight at featherweight. Like,
I agree with that too. He looks so
Drew
clean,
Dober is
technically
one of the like
polished.
buffest lightweights. Like, he weighs like 190. I've heard multiple people talk about Dober, like the weight cut getting puffs back up to like 190. He's like basically the same size as Islam. Islam's maybe an inch or two taller, but he's a huge lightweight. So if Gene Silva can go with him and knock him out, I'm not so sure he should go back down to featherweight. I think he will, but I'm not so sure that he should.
Yeah, I almost
No,
wonder. I almost wonder if Silva's like a McGregor-sized guy. Like 55 is his better weight class, but he's killing himself to make 45. Like maybe just fight at 55 because it seemed like his chin was all there. Dober landed some good shots, but Silva never fell. He got wobbled, but never fell. And his technical boxing and speed, he's faster than these guys at 155. That's for sure.
agreed. Now, just for the sake of power rankings here, we're going to talk featherweight. Um, I struggle power ranking this guy. Like, I guess it's the small sample size, and there's a bunch of guys in this kind of tier that do have small sample sizes. But would struggle. I'm like legitimately asking for help here, so I'm gonna list off names. You tell me yes or no if Gene Silva should be above him or not. I'm gonna actually like implement this because I struggled. Yusuf Zalal.
Yes, yeah. Yes. I'm going to be pretty high here. I'm pretty high on
No,
Silva.
I felt like I was being low, so I like legitimately needed this. Last night it was like pretty late. I was like trying to power rank
I
him.
think he's for sure higher than Jack Jenkins.
William Gomez.
Yeah.
Daniel Wood, yes, I imagine. It's just size
Yeah.
and power. Now this is where it gets interesting. Sean Woodson. Matchup with the reach and the boxing.
I'm going to say yes still, but we're getting a lot closer.
Caceres. The factor there.
Ooh. Yes,
Years
but
old Caceres.
I'm going to say yes, but I can't imagine I get him one higher. Like, I think that's probably...
Yusuf.
Nah, I'm not going to put him above you. I know Yusuf looks pretty washed, but I just need one more sample size from Silva.
No, the sample size is what made it tough, and a lot of these guys in that tier had a small sample size. So I legitimately needed your help there. I'm going to slide him in above Caceres and below Yusuf there.
Which
that
is crazy
bumps him,
because that puts him inside, like, top 25, but...
puts him inside top 20. That puts him at 20. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, there you go. So, I mean, yeah, like a guy that matters at featherweight for sure. Question is, can he make the weight?
I'm not so sure. But I'm not so sure he has to. I think if he, like, goes in on, like, hey, I'm a lightweight now and I fucking knock out lightweights, like, oh, but I guess time will tell. But we can keep it pushing. I mean, we spent a good amount of time on that one. It was awesome. So he cashes our over-under two-legger at plus 150. I had 2 units on it. Gets me in the green. Let's go. Fight of the night. And then Dober, I saw a tweet the other day. It was kind of sad. It's kind of accurate. It's like, I think they used the word like semi-elite. Like Dober's days of being semi-elite are over. Like I think Dober, he's 35.
It's true though.
You know?
That was what I said. Is like age is going to have it's going to start to take its toll. We've seen his chin be cracked finally. Like actually put him out. Terrence McKinney wobbled him hard before he came back in that one. So Yeah, I think the semi-elite days are waning. That being said, I say
Slow. He looks slow.
I say we keep it pushing. I think you
Yes,
deserve
sir.
your
Yes, sir.
flowers for this
Oh,
bet.
yeah.
Put your chest out over
Oh,
plus
chances
300.
that.
I mean, what, plus 320, plus 350? What'd you end up getting?
I wish plus 270, plus
Oh,
270, but yeah, we have Bonfim money line minus 345, taking on Loosa plus 275. A lot of the smart marks out there, we're saying they like the Loosa. I know you had your doubts about Bonfim's gas tank at elevation, and I'll be real, like this is whatever like can laugh at my caveman MMA math sometimes if they want to, but it fucking came through for me on this one. I had very simple logic here. Loosa doesn't get finished. The better fighter, I'm picking him to win. That equal 1 + 1 = 2. That equals Bonfim by decision. Vegas didn't think it would go to decision. I think the knockout or sub props. Like I think this is the third place prop. Vegas didn't think it was going to decision. I didn't see anybody else on X or boasting about cashing this one. So yeah, man, I use my caveman math here, my MMA math. As Chael said, it works all the time, baby. And it doesn't get finished. Bonfim's the better fighter.
I agree fully, and I think another huge part of that is that not only does Loosa not get finished, but he's a tank, and he also like usually starts better than he finishes, which is true for Bonfim. So it's like he can kind of match Bonfim's early aggression, early ability, and then I thought the elevation was definitely going to sap both these guys out and just take the power off the punches. I like the Bonfim by decision. In hindsight, should have bet it. I had it on the list of potential bets for myself, bets I considered. Yeah, I mean, it just made sense. It was one of those things where I thought Bonfim might end up winning 29-28, as I had said in our breakdown. I thought he might end up losing the third. He doesn't. I mean, he clearly dominates all 3 rounds of this fight. It looks really good.
Round 1 was the closest round because Loosa got 3 takedowns but did fuck all with it.
100%. I think Loosa shot too much of his load early and kind of gassed himself out. But, like I said, though, that elevation, after 7 or 8 minutes and Loosa's chin, I think Bonfim lost enough power and was aware enough to conserve his energy, being up 2 rounds going into 3, that he wasn't looking for a finish there.
Bonfim, bro, he goes to the body, those knees to the body, the punches to the body. He was even doing ground and pound to the body.
See, but Loosa's a tank. Like, I think he'll get finished by head strikes before body strikes. His body is thick. Like, Loosa is thick.
For sure.
I loved what I saw. Don't get me wrong. And as far as like your bet, like it could not have been more on display that was the best bet of the night.
I'll say though, there's some bad matchups for Bonfim. Though how Loosa was able to take him down that many times. Now he got up, but he got up from Loosa. Like, does he get up from a Fucker Dinon? Does he get up from a Colby Covington? Does he get up from a Sean Brady? Does he get up from maybe even like a Li Jingliang? Like, I don't know if he.
That's why, in my opinion, it's the best bet of the night that you made, because his money line is not justified by this fight, in my opinion. Like, he didn't look like a minus, 350 or 330?
You say that, but he 30-27. But point well taken. Like, Loosa was having some success.
Loosa won 1 round on one judge's card. I mean, at least close first, like you said. So
you had a 30-27, though. You had a 30-27.
Yeah, I did. I thought first was competitive, but I still thought it was Bonfim's round. I thought Loosa doing fuck all with damage, takedowns. Right? Yeah, Loosa doing fuck all with takedowns lost him the round, because like if he had more control, he might have been able to negate some damage and actually win that round.
3 takedowns and losing a round is kind of wild.
That's what I'm saying. He did fuck all.
He didn't do shit. Yeah.
Agreed, but as far as like steam in the engine of Bonfim, I'm not adding a lot of coal off this win.
We'll just put a bow on this Bonfim Loosa breakdown. Had a little weather, a little technical issue here, man. But yeah, Bonfim, knees to the body, damage. Loosa had some success with the takedowns, but couldn't do anything with them. And I think we're going to slightly get into like projecting Bonfim moving forward. And he's in a tough spot as far as my power rankings go, because I have Dalby at 25, and clearly I'm not going to jump him over Dalby. So
that's where I'm at too. That's why I said I can't put a lot of coal in Bonfim's train, because as far as my rankings are concerned, in his past performances, and even this one, I can't put him back over Dalby. Not for this. It wasn't like he came out like a world beater and showed me a different guy. It looked like the same guy would lose to Dalby, in all fairness, because Dalby ain't letting him up from those takedowns.
Agreed, brother. Agreed, man. Now let's keep it pushing to some number one bullshit. We got the 38-year-old Abdul Razak Alhassan minus 175 taking on Cody.
Wait. What about Julian Erosa and C-Rod?
That is... I don't think that's the order, brother. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it sure is. It was a very quick, very short in my notes. I apologize. We got Juicy J. We trippy, man.
I was like, damn, we want money on this, D-Mac. You got to give us our shine.
Yeah, we are cashing dog of the week bets. Yes, sir, man. We trippy, man. We got Juicy J. We got Julian Erosa. He finished at plus 200. We got him at plus 180. What can you do?
Fuck.
Taking on C-Rod, minus 245. I gotta say, I mean, it was a banger for as long as it lasted. Like, it was sweaty. Like, it cashes, but it was sweaty.
I'll be real. If this fight goes 12 minutes of this pace of fight, it's fight of the night probably over, God, who got it? Dober and Silva. I mean, pace of this fight was tremendous. Now, to Erosa's credit, when he does end up catching the guillotine, slick. Like, I thought C-Rod got out martial arted here.
So slick that, like, bro, Enoch and Florian, like, they had one, and Ray Long was like, "Hey, what the fuck happened with that guillotine, dude? How did that even happen?" Like, bro, it had Ray Longo fucking double taking, dude, and he obviously knows what he's looking at. Like, yeah, Florian's answer was just that, like, I think that maybe he was still a little hurt. Like, C-Rod was still a little hurt. Like, didn't really have his wits about him because, like,
see that. Because he did let the arm get deep. Like, he let him literally circle the whole head and, like, swing the arm, like, to where his fist was through the other side of the cheek.
But I gotta say, man, hasn't Erosa better? Like, the first 2 minutes of the fight, I mean, sweaty. I was sweaty. C-Rod was touching the chin. C-Rod was touching, and it's crazy. I'll be real, like, my whole betting breakdown, remember we had the whole Fighters Fortitude, Tank Abbott kind of trolling a little bit. And, like,
that is Erosa, though.
Looked kind of nasty, though. Like, that was the nastiest thing we've seen C-Rod look. Like, he was getting after it.
He looked nasty, but I almost wonder, like, does his power translate to 45? And was he just bullying 35ers when he was missing weight? And then beyond that, like, Erosa talked about it in his post-fight with Felder. He was like, I'm a guy that likes to be in wars. Like, if you bring a war to me, like, I'm better that way.
Yeah, no, agree. It was just how, like, he was touching the actual chin, like, repeatedly.
I was pretty goddamn nervous around the 90-second mark in. 90 seconds in, I was like, Erosa's going to get fucking slept if he doesn't stop this bullshit. Like, I was sitting there like, fucking quit this.
Like a little bit of defense, bro. Just like
can we just act like we have been here before? Like, you have 50 fights. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, no, I was getting nervous. Like, C-Rod was touching that chin, but I guess to my initial point, he's really not much of a killer. Like, I guess C-Rod can touch your chin and you'll be kind of just fine.
It's odd, right? Like, his power, its threshold might be 35. Like, I think 45ers are big enough guys to handle his power.
I don't think he was starching guys at bantamweight.
No, I mean, leg kick McGee. Like, he had super powerful kicks, and like, I don't know.
I remember more of his grappling at 35 personally, but
well, I mean, that once again goes to the point of weight bullying, guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I'm out on C-Rod, and I'm not out on Erosa, but I'm glad this might have been my last Juicy J bet. Like, he's getting older.
Feels good to cash a final Erosa bet.
Like, he's gonna get match made with somebody. Like, I mean, let's just go to featherweight here and let's see where I have Erosa. Where is he at?
To be fair, like a Yusuf Zalal Erosa would be a fire matchup.
Where's he at? Oh yeah, or even like, bro. I know you're not the biggest Fernando Padilla guy, but if Padilla touches his chin, like the way that C-Rod was touching his chin, bro, Padilla sleeps guys. He can box.
That's a competitive fight. I think that's a good fight.
It's a good fight, but I'm just talking specifically like if Padilla touches his chin the way C-Rod touches his chin, like that's a bad night. That's a bad night at the office.
Agreed.
But well that ends well, right? I've been finding myself saying that a lot lately. Like all's well that ends well.
What about like a Gomez Erosa?
I'm taking Gomez, but sure. I mean, the matchmaking makes sense. I think more of like a Morgan Charrier or maybe even a Charles Jourdain off the L.
I don't hate the Charrier. Erosa and Jourdain have fought, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you might be right. What about what has Erosa and Hakeem Dawodu fought? I can see that one being a kind of a banger.
Let's see.
There's just so many featherweights to keep track of, bro. There's like 9.
Yes, he has. Yeah, 2 years ago. And he lost to Padilla. He got KO'd by Padilla a year ago.
So, yeah. I mean, he's fought a lot of these guys kind of in this tier. I don't know if you start giving him Elkins and Swansons and kind of just like graduate him up to old guy mode.
God, he has a win over Landwehr. He has a win over Charles Jourdain. He has a win over Sean Woodson. Yeah, I mean,
like this whole middle tier of featherweights, right? Which is why he's so awesome.
That's kind of why I was trying to go with the new guys. You know, like honestly, the Charrier is a great call out as well. Like I think some of these new guys have to fight Erosa. He has to start fighting younger new guys because that's all that's left in his career at this point. I mean, there's no title aspirations for Julian Erosa, and he's fought too many of the guys that are in the Legends tier to be running it back. So unfortunately,
I wouldn't mind Isaac Dolgarian.
Ooh, I love that because I'm pretty high on Dolgarian.
But he has that shitty gas tank, so like that's the path to victory for Erosa. But he could also get chinned. Yeah, for sure, bro. But Julian Erosa, Cash is our dog of the week. How long has it been since we hit a dog of the week? I feel like it's been kind of a minute. Let's see. We definitely lost the Anthony Smith dog of the week. We lost the Kung Ho Kang dog of the week. We lost the Norden Becke dog of the week.
Hey, we got robbed on that one. Not really.
This was the last one we hit was Montana De La Rosa on the Canada Mavov card. So it's been about a month since we hit a dog of the week. So feels good.
We
Getting
need that.
right in the ship here. We needed that. Yeah, we needed that. Shout out Nigel Houston. Need that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's anything else to say. He kind of was, in a way, was kind of losing the fight, but then caught him in the gilly. I mean, hey, I'll take it as a dog better, though. The ticket cash, baby.
100%. That was pretty much the way that Erosa was going to win that fight, was being more of a dog, having more fighter's fortitude, as Tank Abbott would call it. And like,
fighter's fortitude.
And like, sure as shit, he did. Like the Buffalo Wild Wings guy with the 10-piece was probably slapping the table on that sub, like, hell yeah, boy, that's how you do when they shoot it on your leg. You grab that neck and wrench them up tight.
And I'm just not a C-Rod guy. Like I'm not a C-Rod guy. I saw a lot of betting accounts and people on X. People, I guess, for some reason like C-Rod, even though he misses weight and beats mid guys.
Yeah.
I just
guys are high on his technical skill, but you know what? As far as like how any of his wins have aged, none of them have aged well. And like this loss isn't going to age well, obviously, because Erosa's damn near the end of his career. I don't know. It's
guy,
I'm with you. Not a C-Rod guy.
Man, all right. Now can we get to I Quit Brundage already? Can we get the quitter man Brundy?
Yes.
We got Abdulrazak Alhassan minus 175 taking on Cody Quit Brundage plus 145. He has one win by DQ for 12-6 elbows that landed on his head.
Unbelievable.
And now he gets gifted a no contest. That was a KO. I don't know. I go back and forth with this one. I have like my ref cap and my fan cap. All right, so ref cap is going to be forward hat, Dom. I'm going to get into character here. And then fan hat is going to be backwards hat, Dom. What breakdown do you want first? You want fan cap, Dom, or ref cap, Dom?
Give me ref cap first because it's way less fun, but also like, dude, I'm just looking at this guy's fight history, and I don't know how the fuck he got matched up with Bo Nickel. How was this guy the guy? And how did Bo Nickel give up a takedown? That was the fact Bo Nickel gave up a takedown to this guy. We might have some issues, but go ahead.
Pause. All right, so ref cap, Dom, hats forward. Word to the back of the head. Two people out there, including our boy Michael, saying only one. was warned, so there was a warning. Like the warning didn't deter him at all. He didn't alter his strategy. He didn't slow down. He just kept doing the exact same thing he was doing when he got the warning, and then proceeded to land another one that was even worse to the back of the head. Like Dom, like I said, like they were illegal strikes. He was warned. He completely ignored the warnings. That's right. I mean, the law, it's a no contest, not enough of the fight. I mean, this fight ends at 27 seconds, so there's nothing to score. Ref Cap Dom is fine with the no contest. I'll turn the floor over to you, and then Fan Dom will let her rip.
Sweet. So I'm just looking at his record here, and I just want to walk you through it real fast. So, got KO'd in 2020 in the first round against William Knight in the Contender Series, and then got sent back to LFA.
No longer in the promotion.
Correct. And then got sent back to LFA where he got a submission win over Joe Crapshoot. Then he debut loses to Nick Maximov, no longer in the promotion. Or if he is, like...
was like the smallest middleweight to ever exist, I believe.
Correct. Then gets the submission win over Dalcha Lungiambula. I mean... Absolute can. Gets a KO over Trayshawn Gore. Can. Gets KO'd by Oleg Sajic in one round, 3 minutes.
It's probably his best loss. Or no, Bo Nickel, but...
Gets subbed by Rodolfo Vieira in round 2, early in round 2. Makes sense. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Decision loss to Cedric Dumas a year ago.
That's where I was off the wagon.
Correct.
Because we think Dumas is about as bad as you can be.
Correct. Then gets the DQ victory over Malkoun, and then the KO win over Zachary. Zachary doesn't belong in the UFC. That's just very clear.
Like Ultra can. He's actually fought like all the worst guys you can possibly fight. Like dating back to the William Knight fight. Like literally the easiest schedule that you can possibly get.
That's why I didn't even want to give a breakdown of the fight. I just wanted to present that this guy is a absolute can that's been fed other cans and is a 50-50 win rate in the can-on-can matchups. Like, I don't know what's more certifiably can than that.
No, it's horrible. And this is the second fight that he's been kind of gifted. Like I said, the Malkoun fight, like that was an L. This was for sure an L. Although, like I said, man, if Alhassan would have made any effort to like put a little angle, to go for the ear, to switch his strategy whatsoever once he was warned, I would be the coffin. Like it's just like Alhassan didn't do himself any favors here. You know what I mean? Yes, I want to jump in on the party of dunking on Brundage, but like Alhassan didn't do himself any favors at all. Like he didn't even attempt to like change what he was doing.
Let me ask you this. So we got the ref breakdown now. I want fan perspective, but also give me your Dana White perspective, therefore, as well.
Fan perspective is literally like what everybody on Twitter is saying, like, cut this guy, fuck this guy, quitter. Like, all right, because, like, everybody hated Aljo, but also everybody acknowledged Aljo was actually good. Imagine if Aljo was, like, an actual king. Everybody would want him gone yesterday. If Aljo wasn't good, imagine Aljo, but you're not world class. Like, not like, so he's can Aljo. And like best case scenario, even like if Brundage is having the fight of his life, guess what? It's still snoozy. He's taking you down. He's nut hugging you. You know,
it's
like
a terrible fight when he wins, no matter what, as well. Unless he's fighting an absolute dog shit. Can't even fight. It's unbelievable in a promotion level can.
One knockout was like a slam KO, which is like still wrestling. It's not like he's ever like slept somebody with his hands. And he can wrestle, but he has no submission game really. So like your literally whole goal is to just lay him prey. If you're wrestling without submissions, or it's not like he has good ground and pound either. So like you're a whole. I mean, it's Petrosky, right? We'll get to him on the prelims here in a second. But
I was going to say it's literally
Petrosky.
Like exactly because he can't get the takedowns near as effectively. I mean, that was proven obviously in this fight because where's he get the elbows from? In on a takedown that he can't finish.
Agreed. Agreed. Like I said, man. I mean, like
Now, oh yeah, what's your Dana White perspective? You cutting this guy or what?
so if I'm Dana White, yes, of course I am. But however, my actual Dana White impression is that like I get the feeling that for whatever fucking reason, Dana or Hunter or whoever's in charge of this guy's career, reason seems to like him.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what's like. I don't get it. I don't understand why. Maybe he just like takes the 12-12. Like maybe he just like never asks for more money. Like maybe that's why they like him. Like maybe like they share. Like I don't know, bro. Like, I really don't know. Like, I don't know why they like this guy or seemingly like this guy.
yeah, I hope he gets cut, man. I'll be honest. I just think that you can't have a guy with this sort of like. It'd be one thing if he was a straight axe murderer when he fought, but he was also a quitter. So like Charles Oliveira used to be. Like I can work with that because you get highlight finishes and like yeah, when you break, you get finished, whatever. But when you're on top, like when you're the hammer, you're the hammer. When you're the nail, you're the nail. Whatever, that's fine. This guy's the nail all the time, even when he's winning. It's terrible. Like he's a terrible guy to watch win, and he's equally just as bad of a fighter as he is to watch.
Yeah, no, for sure, bro. And that wraps up the main card. I mean, absolute stinker in a way to I'll say I'm super fucking glad I didn't bet Alhassan by KO. I know a lot of people did. I was really close. That was like my honorable mention prop. I had like 3 props and I thought about doing a 4th. But I'm glad I didn't, obviously. I mean, it would have been a no contest, so I would have got my unit back or whatever. But
would have been brutal though to know that he was within one more strike, whether it was returned to the side or whatever direction you want to call it, of that actually being a TKO.
Exactly. That would have been absolutely horrendous as a bettor. So glad that didn't happen. But yeah, that wraps up the main card. Check us out on X at Beefy Breakdown. Check us out on IG at Beefy Boys Breakdown. We got a Facebook page for the Boomers. And we'll be right back to break down the prelims because we're the only show out there going over every single fight on every single card and giving you betting picks. What don't we do here on Beefy Boys Breakdown? We're your one-stop shop for MMA content. Go ahead and subscribe for that reason. We'll be back to break down the prelims.